Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review and a demo of a foundation which is not new, but the only reason I'm doing it is because I've come across it in its new packaging and I was like, oh, let me give it a go. And that is the Stila Stay All Day Foundation and Concealer. So it is a combined foundation with a concealer in it as well. It retails at £29.50, which is what I paid for it. I got it from Stila's UK website, but I think it was 20% off or something. They often do 20% off offers, which is amazing. So I was able to actually pay a little bit less. And it contains 30 ml of product, and the concealer itself is 1.15 grams. So it's a standard amount of foundation, not a standard amount of concealer, because obviously it's a combined product rather than an individual concealer on its own, which may contain more product. So this is what it looks like. And to get to the actual foundation, you have to pop off the lid, and inside is this funny looking thing in here. And when I first saw it and I didn't read the instructions, I was like, what? So what you do is you have to press it and then you see the liquid come out, which I actually think is pretty awesome. Now I do have to admit, when I first got it, I was like, okay, but then I realized you don't actually have to press it too hard to get a little bit of product out. It's not the same as a pump where you can, it's very difficult to dispense it sometimes and you end up taking out more product than you needed to. With this one you can press it really gently and a tiny little bit comes out bit by bit by bit. I generally find that if one intense pump all the way to the bottom is enough to cover my skin and more. So again, it's down to personal preference depending on how much of your face you actually want to cover. And then to get to the actual concealer, you just pop open the top of the lid, and here you can see the concealer inside, and it is removable, so when you run out you can go back and request a new one, I believe. I am just going by what they say on their website. According to their website, it contains a full coverage refillable concealer. So that is something to, in case you're wondering what happens when I run out, that sort of thing. So let's talk about the foundation itself before I start with the demo. Their claims are face the day looking selfie ready with Stila's lightweight, high definition, buildable coverage, oil-free matte foundation. Now it says that the concealer is inside the cap. It is a creamy full coverage refillable concealer that blends seamlessly to instantly neutralize under eye circles and hide skin imperfections. So the way that the color is that all of the concealers apparently have got peach undertones in it to neutralize the discolorations and making it easier to conceal imperfections with less product. So that would be across the board, across all the shades. The shade that I have bought is medium 9. And it says this ultra long wearing water resistant formula is designed to stay all day and looks and feels natural on the skin. It contains their proprietary youth revival bioavailable mineral complex, scientific talk I don't understand. And that's it. So what do I have to say about it? I agree with it quite a bit. Lightweight, definitely. It's definitely not running, because you can see, like, even still from when I pumped it out, it's still kind of hanging around there and it's not really dripping or dropping anyway. It's quite light in texture despite the fact that it appears to be thick because of the way that it's appearing on the tube itself. High definition, I guess so. Buildable coverage, yes, it's definitely medium to full buildable coverage, which I love. I love full coverage foundations, but I hate the way that some of the really full coverage ones, like the Huda Beauty one, the Kat Von D one as well, are very thick and can give an almost unnatural look to the skin, because our natural skin is not matte. Nobody has matte skin. We've got oils in our skin which come out during the day and give us that kind of natural, dewy sort of look, but without looking greasy. And it's a matte foundation according to this. I would say it's a demi matte foundation personally. I don't find it to be completely matte, and I actually prefer demi or semi matte, depending on how you want to term it, those kind of foundations, because like I said again, nobody's face is completely matte. And however, obviously if you have got oily skin, you may want to apply something mattifying, like a mattifying primer underneath. It says it's long wearing and water resistant. Now I have worn it for pretty much all week. I've walked through the rain now and then, but it wasn't really like full on rain. It was like that weird spitty rain, my foundation didn't move. However, I'm not going to throw a bucket of water on my face to test it out whether it is water resistant or not. For most of the part, when they say water resistant, they just mean if you are walking outside and you get a bit wet, don't worry, you'll be okay. Long wearing. Now, I have to say that when I put it on my face, I start to get a little bit shiny, probably towards hour 10, which is excellent. Throughout the day, it settles into the skin nicely, and I don't find that it moves around a lot. It's only by hour 10, I would say, and that's like when I've got home from work after a full day at work in the office, surrounded by central heating, going in and out of the office all day, and doing random things, day stuff that you do as you're walking around, you know, living life. I don't find that it comes off, and it says that it looks and feels natural on the skin, which I definitely agree with. I really like this foundation. I think it's really, really good. Even when it gets to hour 10, even though I've got combination skin, and even though I tend to get a little bit shiny on my cheek area and my nose and chin area, it's more of a kind of a glowy kind of sheen, rather than a, oh my god, you look so greasy, you've got too much foundation on and it's starting to move around on your face kind of look, if that makes sense. It's nothing that a little bit of powder won't sort out, and I'm happy after hour 10 to then have to powder my face slightly. But personally, I haven't done that. I actually like look at my face and I'm like, okay, so I look youthful and kind of glowy, and I'm happy to look like that. But then again, I do have combination skin, so those of you that have got oily skin may have a little bit more shine, and therefore you will need to probably powder it down a little bit. I think it will work well with dry, normal combination, as well as oily skins as well. I don't find that it clings to any dry patches that I have on my skin. I find that it blends beautifully. I find that I get a really nice even coverage, and I'm overall very, very happy with this foundation. I'm not going to give it a 10 though. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's very difficult for me to give 10 out of 10 to any kind of makeup. It has to be completely 100% perfect. Now, the only criticism I have of this is that it does transfer quite a bit towards the end of the day, especially if you do happen to like go like this on your clothes or hug somebody, you will get that makeup on them. It's not like the Estee Lauder Double Wear or the Fenty foundation, where I find them to be quite transfer resistant. Another thing that I guess I would always say, which is a criticism of mine when it comes to Stila's foundations, is that their range is not that big. I would definitely say there's quite a lot of people that'll be missed out. From what I can see, they've got 16 shades of foundation. I say in this day and age, and as an established and long-lasting international company such as Stila, they should really have more than that. They should have about 30 shades by now. So I really hope that maybe that's something that they can look to do in the future, because personally I'm a really big fan of Stila. I don't find that it oxidizes on me either, but in reference to my shade medium 9, it is a little bit dark for me. I am in MAC, for reference, an NC40. I don't have a tan at the moment either. We're coming into the winter months and my tan's faded, any tan that I did have anyway. If you are a MAC NC42, this would be a perfect match for you. It's more obvious that it's a little bit dark for me when I've got my hair tied up. I've mostly just done it for the purposes of the video so that you can see everything properly, but I've been able to work with it and I'm quite happy with it anyway. So now I'm going to do a demo using this for you guys. The brush that I'm going to use is the only marginally clean one I could find, and it's my Morphe M439 Deluxe Buffer Brush. You can use a beauty blender with this as well, but I find that it's not that thick that it needs a beauty blender. I find that using a brush works perfectly fine. And another reason that I'm not giving it a 10 is, as well as I know that they've tried to obviously be very innovative with their packaging, I do think that it might be a bit difficult to figure out when it's about to run out, because all you have is like a little window here, but I assume the foundation goes lower than that. So once it starts to travel past this area, I mean, already I can see it's about 3/4 of the way down from that little window here. So once it starts to get to the bottom, the only way I'm going to find out it's run out is literally on the day. So that's not really going to help me so much. And in terms of the concealer itself, it says it's a full coverage concealer. I'd call it a medium coverage concealer personally. I've used it under my eyes, and yes, the color is great, as in it's got peach undertones to it, so it color corrects under the eyes, but I don't find it full coverage enough for me. I also think that it's one of those ones that will, and I have used it once or twice, it has slipped around a little bit. I prefer ones which have got a little bit more stick to them. My favorite concealer is the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, and this is nothing like that. Obviously it's thick and in a palette form, whereas that is in more of a liquid form. I just think that as an under eye concealer it doesn't work so great, but on the face it will work well enough. But I do find that this gives enough coverage that you don't necessarily have to use concealer on your face as well. But just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use the foundation on my face and I'm going to use the concealer on my under eyes areas, just so that you can see how it comes out. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime my skin with this The Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. Right, so now my face is lovely and red like my earrings. Because I've just applied this. Oh, do you guys want to see my top? I really want to show it to you. It's Hello Kitty doing the dab. Hey! How cool is that? It's from ASOS. It's sold out like straight away. I was lucky to get it. And even my shirt that I'm wearing is a Hello Kitty one. Look, you can see the little bows on the sleeves. I was trying to be all artistic. It's actually got Hello Kitty on the pocket, but obviously I'm wearing the top. Anyway, okay, now my face has calmed down a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of dab it a little bit and then dot it onto my face and then start to blend it in. So I'm squeezing out loads. I don't normally squeeze out that much. I'm just doing it for the video, and I'm just dabbing my brush onto it. I actually find it quite hygienic to be able to clean off that tube afterwards as well. Obviously, if you have clients, if you're a makeup artist, you may want to rethink my method slightly. But I really like how you can just dab it onto the face quite easily, and then it starts to blend really nicely with a buffing brush like this. It's not difficult to blend. It's nice and soft and smooth. I'm just speeding it up because obviously it's just foundation. But yeah, so just keep blend, 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 blend. Right. So that is one layer of the foundation. I've actually got quite a bit left over. So that's just to show you guys that you really do not need that much to get full coverage all over your face of this. This is enough for one layer. But as I have a little bit of extra marks on my face, I'm just going to go over those areas a little bit more. Obviously, you can use the concealer for this, but I don't want to. I want to use the foundation. Okay, so that is it done. Let me just show you on my neck. Sometimes I don't know, because of these bloody white lights I've got in here, I always think that I actually do look a bit lighter on screen, no matter how much I've fiddled around with the settings. Can you see? It is a tiny bit dark for me, but not enough that it's like, oh my god, you looked so bad, like you've got really bad tan. So as this starts to dry, it is tacky and I will have to set it, but I'm going to do that after I've used the concealer. It's very creamy, and I prefer ones which are quite moussey, because ones which are more creamy are more likely to settle within the lines under your eyes, your fine lines or your eyeball lines or whatever you want to call it. So now I'm just going to blend this out with a beauty blender. So I'm not sure if you can see, in terms of the coverage, it does not give me enough coverage. I still feel like I can see some of the darkness under my eyes. Now in terms of the color itself, it's slightly lighter than the foundation, which is fine, because obviously you want your under eye area to be slightly illuminated, but I don't see how that would help in terms of on the face if you were to use it on your face. But I am going to have to set this now, and I do find that there is slight creasing, but that is because it is very creamy rather than it being light and moussey like the Tarte one, or like the Colourpop No Filter one, or like the Urban Decay Naked ones. They're quite light in texture, whereas this is quite thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it with the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit, the shade Banana. And to set my face, which I do have to do because it feels quite, not sticky, but it feels like it's not dry, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder, which is like my favorite powder at the moment to use on foundations. It really makes my skin feel super soft, and it really sets every single foundation with a minimal amount, which is awesome. Okay, so that is my foundation done, as you guys can see. So now it feels nice and soft. It feels set because of the powder. You do have to powder it down, like I said, but overall it's now dried, and I'm not sure, maybe now you can tell that it is a little bit dark for me. What about if I go like this? I shaved my face yesterday, so my neck should be clear of any hairs to darken and confuse people, because it happens to me. Can you see? Nah? Yeah? No? Dunno? Nah? Alright, I'm going to go away now. I'm just going to finish off the rest of my makeup, and I will be back in a minute. Okay, so we are done. The makeup is complete. As you can see, on my lips. I'm wearing Colourpop's from their Hello Kitty collection. Obviously, I had to be matching today, right? I'm wearing the lipstick called Ribbon. And I've done all the rest of my face, highlighting, contouring, etc. As you can see, it works really nicely. Let me see if I can get up close so you can see. Not sure what else I can say really. Generally, I'm really happy with this foundation. I really wish that they will come out with a lot more shades than they do. And other than that, yeah, I can't recommend this highly enough. If you're able to get your own shade, definitely check this out. Like I said, it's not a new foundation. This has been out for a really long time. They've just changed the bottle and the shape of it, I guess, to make it more logistically more friendly in some sort of way. I never used the other one, so I can't really say what the issue was with that one. But maybe this one just looks better as well. Could be. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you have it? Or have you thought about getting it? Let me know below. And I hope you guys are great. And I'll see you all in the next video.